All right, to watch this video for Friday already, February 23rd. Let's look at the SPY real quick. Go to 5-minute candles here. You can kind of see this is where it opened and kind of rallied, but then fell back down, took out the low of day, bounced, and then kind of got ugly near the end of the day again. So we've had a couple ugly closes. I still think the market is just trying to find itself and find kind of a new equilibrium spot after this chaos back here. Not really concerned. I would say this, though. Trading is pretty boring right now. There's not a lot of follow through. I'm not finding a lot of good setups, although I do have a lot of stuff on watch tonight, and you'll soon see why. That's mostly due to bounce plays, but let's go right into it. OLED, nothing really standoutish. Nothing really stands out with this chart, except that in after hours it went down to ended up closing after hours, or I'm not sure if after hours even closed yet, 134.40. So they had earnings and it's down like 20 bucks. It's down here. Some support back in this area right here. So we're going to watch this one tomorrow, see if it gets some kind of setup. Kind of like we did with Roku today. Remember Roku and after hours? We said we're going to watch it because it was down to 140 support. Wayne called this long right around here over 41. And you can see it went from the 41 break right there. You've seen our inflection points webinar where we talk about trading around whole numbers. It went all the way to 44.32 from the 41 break. Another great call by Wayne. That's kind of an example of what we might see tomorrow. Maybe a setup like that in OLED, right? If it can hold support early, we'll see if we get a long setup. Maybe an inflection point trade. Who knows? IMMR, one of the stronger stocks out there today, so I want to watch that for a follow-through day tomorrow. It gapped up back here and just got choppy and really kind of held the 950 area pretty nicely and has been in a range and is kind of trying to break out to the upside out of that range. When I say the range, I mean, for the past couple weeks or so, maybe it's headed back up to the highs of this range. So I definitely want to watch that one tomorrow. ANTH, it's a pretty big ranges for a $2 stock. It had the huge move yesterday and then kind of an inside day today. I don't really like all the wicks and stuff, but if it gives a low risk setup, we might catch a trade in it. My size, MYSZ, big move today. Jane in our chat room pointed this out. I think it was Jane. Early on, we had it on the gap playlist, and then it went red to green right here, and I missed the entry, and then right about here, Jane pointed out, hey, this thing's still flagging nicely and it's holding up really well. I looked at it. I jumped on the mic. I said, I agree. I like this over 146. So 147 with a 142 stop was my idea. And you can see what happened. Let me switch to fives now. It ended up going all the way up to 87. So a nice move. It goes back on watch tomorrow. All right. It's extended, right? It's really far from the moving averages, but sometimes when something closes this strong, you can get a nice red to green the next day. All right, so that one goes back on watch. And then I've got several bounce plays. Now, what happens here is these are ugly charts. You're going to see a series of ugly charts, but I think are oversold in the short term, especially the ones that have nearby support. So GOGO is one of them. That's a huge, ugly candle. If it can come down and take out this kind of 850 area support, a lot of times what happens is you get people piling in short, thinking, okay, now it's breaking support, and they start shorting, as it's breaking 850 in the morning, without really any regard to how far that's fallen in 1.5 sessions or 1 point whatever sessions if it takes off to the downside tomorrow. So what I do is I look for, especially if it takes off in the morning down through this 850, I look for a reversal setup down below that. A lot of times you get a nice snapback. And basically you're catching lazy shorts off guard, right? People trying to make the easy money when something's already extended. So keep that in mind as I go through the rest of these bounce plays. BKD, I don't know if there's any support anywhere. There's the monthly. So it's not at all-time lows. Looks like all-time lows were 250. But this is pretty beaten up. Fell from, $9 to under 7 at one point today. Before it closed out at 718. See what it looked like on an intraday basis. Really nice bounce at the end of the day, man. I wish I'd been watching that one. I pointed this out somewhere when it looked about like this. I said, wow, this thing's getting beaten up today, but didn't really give any kind of a clean setup. Anyway, that one is another one. I'm going to look for maybe a snapback bounce tomorrow. SRCL, another good example, just really beaten up. This thing was, yesterday was over 76 bucks, and now it's flirting with 60. Took out these recent lows here. but I still think it's worth watching for a snapback bounce tomorrow. Let's see, SRCL, SEMG, another ugly one. Really nasty candle there. What I'd love to see is kind of like I just talked about, a big flush down to this 22 support. Be looking for a reversal there, but I have no idea. Either way, it goes on bounce watch. Another one, MIC. That's pretty darn ugly. $64 to $37 in one session. Again, just a bounce play. We'll only trade any of these bounce plays with a proper intraday setup. We teach in our chat in our course what we're looking for on an intraday basis. But all of these to me are worth watching for a bounce tomorrow. And then this CALA potential long. You had the big volume spike 4 sessions ago. And you've just got a lower high, and it's extremely coiled. Now, it could just as easily break down. I have no idea, but I really like it over this 825, 830 area. I think it might come up and retest and maybe break out above this high. So that's my list. We're going to add some gap plays in the morning, as we always do, and that'll be plenty to watch. Have a great night. We'll see everybody tomorrow.